Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're going to be making goulash. A goulash has three basic ingredients. It has ground beef, and I have about 2 pounds of fresh ground chuck here. It has elbow macaroni noodles, and I've got 2 cups of those, and some kind of tomato. And I have some fresh tomatoes out of the garden. I just chopped those up, and that's what I'm going to use, but you can use canned tomatoes, chopped canned tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste, whatever you got, just some kind of tomato in it. And there are as many ways to season this as there are noodles in this cup here. But I have a lot of fresh stuff because the garden is coming in, and some of it I just happen to have on hand. I'm using bell peppers to season mine. I have a large onion here that I diced up, and I diced the peppers up. These are just green peppers mostly. I had 1 small red one. And I have 1 clove of garlic that I minced up really fine. And I had some parsley, and I chopped some of that up kind of fine, and I'm going to put that in it and just use salt and pepper. So let's get this over to the stove and start cooking this hamburger. I'm going to start it on about medium-high, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my onions. And my garlic, and my peppers. And I'm going to let all that cook until the hamburger meat gets brown. Now, I'm putting salt and pepper in here for all these peppers and onions, and also for all the meat. And I may even add a little more. It'll kind of depend on how it looks, and I'll taste it when the meat starts to get done too. I want to make sure I get enough salt and pepper in the meat, because otherwise the finished product won't taste good. But as this cooks, stir it, kind of keep an eye on it. And like I said, we're just going to let it cook until the meat gets brown, and then I'm going to drain off any grease that's on it. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes now, and my hamburger meat is browned. My onions are starting to get opaque. Even my peppers are starting to get a little bit opaque. So I'm going to take this over to the sink and drain the grease off, and then we're going to add our tomatoes. Now that I've got all the grease off, I'm going to add my tomatoes. And like I said, you can use canned chopped tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste, whatever, just as long as you've got some tomatoes in here. And when you're cooking with tomatoes, you do want to add just a little bit of sugar, because they're really acidic and it improves the flavor. It brings out the flavor of the tomatoes. So I've only got maybe 1.5 tablespoons here for all these tomatoes, and that'll be a plenty. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more salt and pepper for my tomatoes. Not too much. And I'm going to go ahead and dump this parsley in here and let it cook up. Alright, I'm just going to cover this, and I am going to turn it down now to about medium. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I'm going to let it simmer until the juice comes out of the tomatoes, and then I'll add my noodles. Well, this has been simmering for about 15-20 minutes now, and I've got a pretty good amount of liquid in here out of my tomatoes, and I'm just going to add the noodles right to this. Now, these noodles say that they will cook in 7 minutes, but they're not going to cook that fast in this, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe just because it's not plain water, I don't know, but they don't cook as fast as they do if you're just boiling them in water. So what you're going to do at this point is you're going to keep an eye on it, stir it a little, and just check the noodles until they get tender, and how long you cook it will depend on what kind of noodle you use. I am going to cover mine again because I don't want all this liquid to evaporate off of it, and then I won't have enough for my noodles. So just leave it on medium, keep an eye on it, stir it. You can see my tomatoes are cooked up here. You can still see the skins in them, but that's perfectly fine. It actually took about 12 minutes to cook my noodles, which was twice as long as the package said. And you can see my liquid is pretty much gone, but the noodles are tender now. All the onions and peppers and the garlic and all that stuff is well cooked, and the flavors are blended, and that's really what you want when you make goulash, is you just want your flavors well blended. Now, when I serve this, I always serve it with sour cream and shredded cheese on the side, because Bret does not like cheese in it, but the kids all do, and he's not a sour cream fan either. But some of the kids put sour cream on just about everything, especially Alex. She loves her sour cream. So I just serve this with some kind of bread and put the cheese and sour cream on the side. Goulash is a great one-pot meal, and if you use like canned tomatoes and stuff, you can do it quite a bit faster. This only took me about an hour to cook. It's wonderful in the winter time, and like I said, you can season it different ways. It's good seasoned like chili or something. But I hope you enjoy your goulash as much as we do around here. Don't forget to put a little sour cream and cheese on the side. And thanks for joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. Don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave, and we'll see you next time.